Is it Kiev or is it Kyiv? Did they change the name? What does this mean? Do they still call it Chicken Kiev? Maybe we'll find answers today as we take a walk down St. Andrew's Descent here in the capital city. Come on. Of course, the official language here in Ukraine is Ukrainian, but about 30% of the population still speak Russian. As a foreigner, a tourist, someone working here, you want to be able to say hi to your neighbors politely, get your coffee. I want to make excuses for my dog and know if I should duck, or ask if I can pet that cat. Switzerland has only 9 million people and 4 accepted languages. In Africa, 29 countries still use French. In India, there's over 20 official languages, but they still use English to communicate across them. There are plenty of examples worldwide where people use one language at work, at home, and with friends. In the 1980s, when Ukraine still belonged to the Soviet Union, the city administration in Kyiv was planning the 1500th anniversary of the city. They decided to set the date of the celebration at the end of May, because then the chestnut trees would be in bloom. Kyiv has long been associated with chestnuts and with Russian speakers. And just like those chestnut blossoms, when you talk about language in Ukraine, it can get pretty prickly. I had to sit down for this part. There's a long documented history of how the Russian language has been forced on Ukrainians. The language has survived over 100 prohibitions in the past 400 years. Behind me is a statue of Taras Shevchenko. Maybe that's why he looks so tired. In 1995, the spelling of Kyiv was officially changed to reflect the Ukrainian spelling instead of the Russian spelling. These were the first step of a long-running campaign. And just in September 2020, Wikipedia finally changed how it spelled the city's name. For the record, the dish, Chicken Kiev, has stayed the same. Having large parts of the population still speak Russian raises issues. First, the idea that language can be part of ethnicity has led to Vladimir Putin's vow to protect Russian speakers worldwide. Russia! Russia! In 2014, he used this as an excuse for invading Crimea.
Уважаемые граждане России, дорогие крымчане, севастопольцы, после тяжелого, длительного, изнурительного плавания Крым и Севастополь возвращаются в родную гавань.
Having a common interface in the military is called interoperability. Joint operations show the ability to work together quickly if one of the partners needs help. And there's an undeniable interoperability of language. In August 2020, there was no problem for Belarusian journalists to be replaced by communication specialists from Moscow, once it became clear that the employees of Belarus State TV were not willing to toe the Lukashenko line. In 2014 in Ukraine, Russian security forces were part of the violent crackdown during the Revolution of Dignity. Later, it was difficult for courts to prove who was local and who was a hired thug. No less important for the development of national identity is the feeling that Ukraine finally gets to have its say by pushing for the Ukrainian language. It's a matter of pride. For generations, Ukrainian was seen as the language of peasants and village people, and its speakers didn't have the same opportunities. Comedy skits in Russian often used cliches of Cossacks, and even the current president, when he was doing comedy, went along with it.
Якщо ви, товариші, не виведете свої зелені війська Криму.
Так.
Ми через місяць виведемо всіх дівчат з Москви.
So, Russian bad? Ukrainian good? Well, like a lot of things, there's a simple answer and a much more complex answer. But keep in mind, whenever people are forced to choose between just two options, it creates division. Beer, wine, coffee, tea, Republicans, Democrat, the EU, Russia. By having to choose and picking sides, it creates what sociologists call otherness. And some people feel safer knowing where they belong. Ukraine is often considered a deeply divided society because it's a complex society, and it's human nature to want to simplify things. So language becomes a really quick but inaccurate way to tell what team someone is playing for. Comprehensive research shows that the thing that divides Ukraine the most is economics, especially people who feel like they lost out during the transition in the early 1990s. The problem in Ukraine isn't really language, it's that language is used to explain divisions. It's evening and the people of the city are coming out. So what about Ukrainians? A lot of research has been done about cultural identity and language in Ukraine. And you know what researchers found out in 2018? That the language divide is actually becoming smaller here. What language someone speaks cannot be directly correlated with how they vote, or in some cases, which ethnic group they ascribe themselves to. Ukraine is an easy place to fall in love with. If you move here and want to stay, maybe you'll learn Ukrainian. If you're only here for a short time to work, maybe you'll try it with Russian. The only mistake you could make in choosing a language from the sociological standpoint is to say that there's only one way to go, especially in Kyiv. That would be nuts. Did you like the video? Welcome to the backside of it. Like us, subscribe to us, and we'll keep more videos coming about what foreigners think about Ukraine. Was organizing the 1,500th anniversary. All right, 1,500th. I can't say 1,500. Okay. Where's that cat? Oh, the cat! Meow!